Yo, peace and blessings, fam. Welcome to the BTS podcast where we talk about business, transportation, and sports. And listen, y'all, we got a special episode for you guys today. We got serial entrepreneur, restaurateur, equity partner of Moore's Beers, relationship expert, right? We like to call him Hitch, and a personal friend of mine, my good brother, and Yatu Marvel, man. Thank you for being here, bro.
Vaughn, man, it's so good to be here,
Yes,
man.
sir. Yes,
Thank you for inviting me, man. This is my man for a long time,
Yes,
man.
sir.
So I'm super happy to be here and super happy to talk about business, man. You know, straight up and down.
Absolutely. So let's dive into it, right? Before we get into your businesses and how you've been thriving as an entrepreneur, I wanna start with the backstory, right?
Okay.
Right. Tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Like when you got bit by the entrepreneur bug, how'd you come up? Tell them about your history in Chicago and things of that much.
Okay, nice. So, yeah, I'm born and raised in Chicago. 50 years young.
Yes, sir.
Grew up in the Hyde Park, Woodlawn area, and I got bit by the entrepreneur bug early. You know, my father was talking to me about the challenges of working for other people versus the rewards of working for yourself. And so he wasn't against getting a job at all, but definitely taught me to go into a job, calculating my money and how much I'm going to save to pull out to be able to eventually start a business. And so I was shoveling snow as a little kid. I was washing cars as a little kid. I wanted to have my own money. I remember me and my brother getting into a fight and my mother putting us on punishment. And she was like, yeah, when you buy your own stuff, then I can't tell you what to do.
Right.
She tells me to this day, she regretted the day she said that to me because I went out and got my own money. Now it's like, you can't make me put my stereo away. You can't make me turn off the TV. So it bit me at a very early age. And I've been a serial entrepreneur, before I even hit 10 years old, all the way through even when I was working jobs.
No doubt, man. Good stuff, man. So today we're going to talk about your new venture, Beyond Gourmet, right? I've been seeing you in the community doing some great things.
Yes, sir.
Right. So what brought that about?
So a few things brought me to that path. One thing is for health reasons and discipline reasons, back in 2017, I decided to try out being a vegetarian for a year.
Okay.
And so I hung out with a friend. I went to a vegetarian restaurant, a vegan restaurant called Karen's on Green. It doesn't exist anymore, but Karen Calabrese is famous in the plant-based and the vegan community.
Okay.
And man, it looked great. It tastes great. I doubled back. I tried it again a few days later, and that made me think that I could do this. And so, yeah, I went vegetarian for a year. And during that process, I was just trying all of these different plant-based, vegan, and vegetarian foods. And one day, one of my buddies said, man, I'm lighting the grill. You should bring some of those plant-based burgers you've been trying over here and put them on the grill.
Yeah.
And we are some foodies, you know. I want to shout out That's a Burger because that's a burger restaurant in Chicago that has the best tasting burger I've ever had in my life. And we
Are those vegan burgers as well?
They're not. I was getting turkey burgers over there to start. But when I went vegan, I tried their black bean burger, and it was seasoned even better.
No doubt.
Than the turkey. I just took a chance. I thought I was going to spit it out and not not like it.
Right.
But that man had the coldest game over there. We were always chasing how to get what we cooking at home that tastes as good.
Recreate that, right?
Recreate that. So he like, come over here, put it on the grill. I got some seasoning. I think we can get close to it.
Okay.
And me and my son both tried the burgers, and we was like, wow, okay. Barbecuing is a different program, and I started. I love the taste, and I wanted to know more about it. I started doing my homework, and I also had childhood memories of pops barbecuing on the balcony. We grew up in a townhouse, an apartment. We didn't have a backyard.
Yeah.
The balcony was the backyard. That's what the grill was. And I'm talking about all summer they was partying on there.
Yeah.
And even Thanksgiving and Christmas throwing a turkey and a ham on that barbecue grill. So there's something about the cookout, right?
Yeah.
In black culture, family culture.
Absolutely.
You know, I love hearing, cuz, I ain't seen you forever. I ain't seen you forever. Grandson, come give me a hug. You know, all of those vibes come with the barbecue grill for me. And so I started working on that process, and my niece and people tried, and they started not telling family that it was plant-based and just letting people eat it.
Yeah.
And so I just remember having a barbecue in my house full of people.
Okay.
And people was like, man, can we get seconds? Can we? I'm like, yeah, because it's plant-based, so it's maybe not as filling. They like, what you mean?
Like, no, this is doing the job. Right?
Yeah, it is. Like, what you mean it's plant-based? I mean, like, that's plants. That's not
Oh,
beef.
so they can't even
That's not
believe
turkey.
because of the taste. They thinking it's actually meat.
They literally thinking it's actually meat. And I don't like to communicate, especially to meat lovers, that it tastes like meat. I think what they were trying to communicate to me is this is delicious.
Never.
Right? But the only way to describe it, based on the experience, which was beef and turkey fried, is to say it tastes like that.
Okay.
So I'm not going to tell anybody that it tastes just like beef or that it tastes
Right.
just like turkey or anything like that. It just tastes great.
It's delicious. It's just delicious.
It's just delicious.
So you went to the one vegan restaurant, kind of like, hey, this is something that I can duplicate, start a business out of it, right? Family, friends gave you the nod, like, yo, this is fire, right? Then you opened up the business. So, like, where are you in the business now? Have you, do you have a restaurant where we can come sit down, or do you cater? Like, what you got going?
Okay, so I'm trying a new business model.
Okay.
I was in Hyde Park, right? Our area, right? Looking for a location.
Okay.
And Wingstop snatched up a location I was looking for.
Okay.
And then this restaurant snatched up a location that I was looking for. And the last spot I looked at, the previous occupants were a new restaurant, and that put a bad taste in the owner's mouths. And so they were looking for somebody with more restaurant experience. And so I was like, I can't sit on this forever, because I saw a huge opportunity.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with Slutty Vegan.
I am.
Right. Valuation, $100 million, was
Okay.
able to secure a $25 million investment after having 4 food trucks
Okay.
and paving the way. I love to see it. It showed me
Yeah.
the power, and I know it's showing investment funds and alternative meat manufacturers where this could possibly go,
Right.
as well. And so before I dipped into the restaurant business, I was day trading, and Beyond Meat was one of the
So talk about that, because we talked about that a little bit off camera, right?
Yes.
Break those numbers down for the audience.
Yeah, sure. So again, shout out to Beyond Meat. Right now, Impossible and Beyond Meat are the leading meat alternative manufacturers. And Impossible Foods is doing really well, $750 million in sales a year, hasn't gone public yet. But they use GMO and soy to make their burgers taste as great as they possibly can.
Okay.
Beyond Meat stayed away from GMO, stayed away from soy, stayed away from gluten. Mm-hmm. And so technically, some people would say that they have the cleaner product, and some people would say Impossible had the better tasting product. Because my goal was to be clean, and because Beyond Meat is publicly traded and Impossible wasn't, I had more access to information about that company, and I was able to study that company. And so alternative meat had a boom, right? In 2021, pandemic, people stuck in the house trying to be healthier.
Yeah.
And so Beyond Meat shot to $460 million in sales in a year, and their shares of the stock hit like $267.
That's Beyond Meat.
That's Beyond Meat.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
Beyond Meat. Impossible's not public, so there is no share.
Right.
And again, but they are doing $750 million in sales a year. And so there's a phrase that I love about business, and it's called vertical integration.
Okay.
Right? And what that means is you're part of the business every step of the way.
Yeah.
So for a company like Beyond Meat to vertically integrate, not only would they manufacture the meat, but either they open a retailer or they open a restaurant, so that they're selling direct to consumers and not just to grocery stores
Gotcha.
and other restaurants. And so whenever any business can vertically integrate, they significantly improve their business model, right? McDonald's are they in the food business or are they in the real estate business, right? People getting hip to that, right? Own every part of it.
Absolutely.
Right? And the money will come. And so that's the opportunity that I saw and I see with Beyond Meat, that my goal is to show them that their product prepared the right way is strong enough to not only sustain a restaurant chain, but to compete with meat-loving restaurant chains. And so my goal was to just take an individual location and blow it up and show them the power. I thought it was going to take them like a year or two to reach out to me, but they just reached out to me last. Reached out to me last
That's
Friday.
what's up. That's
yeah,
what's
they
up.
just reached out to me.
So let's talk about it, man. So you said you're trying a new business model, though. So you don't have the traditional, order, come in, get your food. Like, talk to them about the new business model and how's that working out for you guys?
Okay, so people are used to being able to order on the spot.
Yeah.
Right. So
With the pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That I went from not using Uber Eats or Grubhub much at all, DoorDash much at all, to 3 or 4 or 5 times a week, and I think the rest of the world did too. So that really became a thing. Mm-hmm. And just with Amazon Prime, and people are just used to getting things fast.
Yeah.
I like to tell people in almost any business, most people want things 3 ways, right?
Yeah.
They want it quality.
Yeah.
They want it fast. They want it cheap.
Absolutely.
But it's rare that you're going to get all 3.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
If it's fast and cheap, it ain't going to be good. If it's good and cheap, it ain't going to be fast. Right? You know what I mean? If it's fast and good, it's not going to be cheap.
Right.
And so slow smoking these plant-based meats retains the moisture and just enhances the flavor in a way that people wouldn't believe. But unfortunately, you can't do that fast. And so I created a business model where I require a 48-hour pre-order.
Really?
48-hour pre-order, because I want to give, I love great customer service, and I want to give people great customer service. So I don't want to be smoking burgers and sausages and hot dogs at night and then throwing them in the microwave when you place an order. Not only is that killing the healthy aspect of it, but it's also taken away from the taste. So it started a little slow, but your network is your net worth. And so I was able to go back to our alma mater, Kenwood Academy. For those that don't know.
Shout out to Kenwood, man.
Yes,
Just won a city championship, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Coach Fred and my man, Coach D, man. But
Principal Calloway, all the students, all the staff, everybody cheering on, people making merch. I love to see it.
Yeah.
And so also got an influencer, Plant-Based Tamika, to review the food. The Black Foodies have reached out, and several others. And so just growing the awareness. And whenever people taste it, they let me know, like, whoa, this is unbelievable. And so this doesn't exist anywhere else on earth, right? There is no plant-based barbecue smokehouse.
Now listen, so like I said, Yatu is a personal friend of mine, and I saw he was on his balcony barbecuing a plant-based burger, right? And I commented like, bro, that looked fire, right? And then next thing I know that he had a restaurant that was popping, man. So I wanted to get him on a podcast and try to give him as much visibility as possible. So if you're in the Chicago area, man, how can they reach out to you, bro? How can someone place an order?
Sure, they can go to BeyondGourmetChicago.com. Right there at the website, we have a place for individual orders, and even though we're a catering business and a ghost kitchen, we don't require. There's no minimum order.
Okay.
Right. An individual person, you order 1 burger, 1 fry, and keep it moving all the way up to ordering pans of food and platters and things of that nature. So we have slow smoked burgers. We have the Chicago style hot dog. We have what's called the Goodfella, which is an Italian sausage sandwich on garlic bread.
I saw that, bro.
Yeah, nuts.
I saw that.
Yeah, and we just releasing some new items. So I call it the This Is Sparta smoked gyro. We have the Incredible smoked chili.
I saw that. That's what you took up to Kenwood, right?
Yeah, that's what I took up to Kenwood.
Yeah,
and they loved it and went crazy. And Principal Calloway sent me a text message a week later, like, Mayor Brandon Johnson wants to get up with you. And so, it's definitely an exciting time. And again, the big picture is, to partner either with a investment firm and/or Beyond Meat directly. To create a chain of restaurants where people can, eat the food without the cholesterol, without some of the health problems, but still enjoy the comfort foods that they already love. And so, that's my middle ground.
Mm-hmm. And have you guys, let's talk about some of the challenges, though. Like, I know it could have been challenging to try to get this off the ground, try and get visibility. And then also you mentioned that it's a 48-hour pre-order, right? So that can deter some people
for sure
from trying to get the food, right? So, because if I want to, let's just say I work in an area, I know I want to have one of these amazing chili bowls that you guys offer
Right.
for my lunch break. I want it Monday.
Right.
So I got to order it Saturday, right?
Yes.
And then pick it up on my lunch break Monday. So like, how did you overcome some of those challenges to get people to buy into that business model?
So yeah, it's definitely a challenge. I get calls every day. People like, I'm trying to walk in right now. I want something right now. I want something right now. And it's like, what's your name? And then I have to break it down and explain it to them. And I knew it would be an obstacle. You know, nothing great happens overnight. Rome wasn't built overnight. And so I just think people seeing the visual of the food. We're up to over 30 5-star reviews on Google. And again, you know, these influencers coming in and doing the reviews helps people to get past that. And the fact that it's slow smoked, and when people taste it and they understand the health benefits of it, I am bringing people around. But definitely starting off slow motion. I'm like, I got to figure out a way to speed this up. And so I actually do offer live orders for the chili.
Okay.
Because that is a one pot slow cook thing, and that really tastes better the next day anyway. So I don't even want to give you some chili that I made this morning.
doubt.
I want it to sit 24 hours before you even taste that. So we are able to offer the chili live, and I am looking for ways to shorten the pre-order time.
Okay.
But ultimately, you just have to stick to your guns and understand, you know, that I can't be a fast food restaurant if I'm not a fast food restaurant. It's just not an option. And what I found is that there's value in that people are starting to see the value in having to wait and having nothing else on the market compare. So I don't like to say we're better than everybody, but we're definitely different. Yeah, we're definitely different than everybody.
Good deal, man. Good deal. So, okay, obviously things are starting to pick up. I'm seeing you guys pick up a lot of traction on social media. I saw you in Kenwood, man. And while I'm in town, bro, you're going to have to hook your boy up with some of that.
Definitely.
Some of that chili or something, bro, you know?
I definitely about to say that. I want you to look at the menu and pick a couple things.
Yeah.
We do minis on things, so, you know, we like to do tastings. The spot is in a loft, and so I turned that into an event space as well. And so we started doing nice at the loft.
I wanted to talk about that. I was going to touch on that.
Cool.
Yeah, so let's talk about that while we on it, right? So I've been, again, this is my guy, man, and we got a lot of some of the same friends, right? So I'm seeing the posts, I'm seeing the parties, I'm seeing the events, and I'm like, okay, it look like my man is like venturing off into the event space where he's had an opportunity to get his food in front of more people.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So talk about that. How often are you doing that? And if somebody's in Chicago, are these private events or can anybody show up?
So definitely private events.
Okay.
There's been a waiting list for these events. I was hoping to do 2 a month, but just with so much going on, it hasn't quite worked out that way. And I do have a waiting list of people who are looking to attend a tasting, but I just saw it as an opportunity to be able to get the food in front of people, to be able to let people taste the food. Obviously, I'm a part of a liquor brand too, and so those things are complementary to one another.
Shout out to Moore's Beer.
Shout out to Moore's Brewing Company, Chicago's black-owned beer. I like to call us the Black King of beers. No disrespect to Budweiser, but it is what it is. But it pairs really well with barbecue, right? And so we knew that going in. And my lady likes to bartend and make drinks, and so do I, right? And so it's just a vibe. Again, that cookout vibe. So it's just been such good energy around the food, and people get to know me. One of my 30-year guys, I convinced him to go work in a restaurant with me for a year and get his food sanitation.
So he got and everything. Huh?
Myself as well.
Okay.
So that we can really feel out whether or not this was something we really could do, whether it was something that we wanted to do, and to have the skills to be able to do it. Because cooking for friends and family is not the same as cooking commercially and cooking for large numbers of people. So I reached out to my man Corey Gilkey from Leaders.
Man, shout out to Corey, man. Shout out to Leaders.
Shout out to Leaders. He also owns Freestyle Restaurant.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, I'm gonna come just intern for you for free.
Yeah.
To learn. He's like, well, I need help, so I'm gonna pay you. You know, but I ain't gonna treat you like an employee. I know you're a boss too. I know what the deal is, and I promised him that I was gonna give it my all, though, even though you know. And so, man, it worked out. And through doing that, I got the chance to work in some other restaurants, short term. Shout out to Park Supper Club, which is another Black-owned restaurant. And we did some pop-ups, 1111 in the West Loop. And so it taught me about the arrangement of kitchens and a lot of things that go into making a restaurant successful and or failure, cross-contamination, all of these things. And so I built up my knowledge. I invested years before I decided to open my doors and jump out here and do this. And so I'm just thankful for all the people that came before me and all the people that allowed me to be a part of their operation, because it really gave me the tools I need to succeed.
Yo, man, listen, that was some game right there, bro. I gotta recap some of that, man. I gotta break some of that down, because I don't want some of those jewels he dropped to go over your head, because this is a business podcast, right? And I get a large audience of younger, inspiring entrepreneurs, and I want to just kind of point out a few things he said, right? One, he literally volunteered to go in as an intern, right, and learn for free, right? This man is a boss. This man is a serial entrepreneur. He owns businesses, right? Even in that position, he's willing to go in and learn for free, because he understands to be successful, as I state to most of my mentees, the more you learn, the more you earn, right? So he went in to go get the game. Secondly, right, how you do anything is how you do everything, right? You can't be a good boss if you're not a good employee, right? Your employer, the person that employs you, is your first investor, right? They're investing into you, right? You're exchanging time for money at the time. But if your goal is to be an entrepreneur, go in, give it your all. You can't go in and half do the job and expect to be a good boss, right? So I just want to break down some of those lessons that you just dropped, bro, because, you know, me being in the box truck industry, I get so many people calling me, right? And they say, hey, I want to do this. But I'm like, bro, you don't even follow directions. Right? So you can't be a good boss. You got to follow directions. You got to be willing to learn. It can't just be about the money. You got to be about integrity, right? So I wanted to just touch on that. I know I'm drifting a little bit, but let's get back to the point, man. So again, my man Inyatu, do we call it vegan?
I like to call it plant-based.
Plant-based, okay.
I like to call it plant-based. Vegan is not just a dietary choice. Mm-hmm. It turns out to be a lifestyle. And so, as I understand it, you're vegan, you shouldn't be wearing leather shoes and carrying leather purses. Like, you care about the trajectory of animals' lives in addition to your diet. And I totally respect that. But I decided I wanted to be plant-based, and I also wanted to appeal to flexitarians, which is people who eat meat all the time but are interested and curious in eating plant-based food some of the time.
I'm a flexitarian.
Flexitarian, right? I like to appeal to pre-vegans, right? Okay. People who are trying to move in that direction, but it's hard to go for a person who's been eating ribs all their life to just jump from that to straight salad and carrots. Yeah. And so I wanted to be that bridge, that middle ground for people to choose something healthier while still being able to embrace, again, those comfort foods that they love and those flavor profiles that they love. So you're not sacrificing the health aspect, and you're not sacrificing the flavor aspect. And that can kind of get you in trouble with vegans. Yeah. Right? And I apologize to all the vegans for that, but I don't, there's no meat in the spot. And I don't cross-contaminate the cheese. The food is so hot that when we wrap it up, it melts the cheese. So the dairy cheese is not touching anything. So there's no cross-contamination. Vegan cheese is a little harder to melt, so we do have to put a top on that to melt that. But
break that down, Yatsu. What's vegan cheese?
So vegan cheese is cheese that's made out of products that aren't associated with animals. So no milk, no butter, no any. So it can be made from cashews. It can be made from different plant-based ingredients. Okay. But a lot of people struggle with that. I know a lot of vegetarians who still eat pizza because that cheese is calling them. Yeah. So, I'm not here to beat up on people because everybody has their process, right? Some people wake up and snap and they do it overnight and that's it. And some people work their way over to it. Yeah. And I want to be here to support both of those groups.
So you offer both. You offer vegan or plant-based.
So all the meat is plant-based. Okay. But it's hard to beat cheese and real butter. So that garlic bread for that Goodfella sandwich and that dairy Parmesan, that dairy mozzarella. It's hard to beat. That sharp cheddar cheese is hard to beat. But for those who have already beat it, I had that for you all day.
Okay.
And it took a lot of research to figure out which vegan cheeses were the best, to identify a company that made vegan brioche buns and the type of buns and up to par with the taste.
Okay.
Right? I can't serve it if I don't love it. And so that's another part of that 48-hour pre-order. That sourcing these ingredients is a challenge. Sometimes I have to go around to 5 and 6 different places to be able to get it. And so obviously if I was taking orders live, I would be having to substitute sometimes inferior products, and I have no desire to do that. So I would rather get it right with you. I would rather not have you as a customer than to get it wrong.
So you guys focusing over quality over quantity.
Absolutely.
Right. And consistency. You know,
there is no second base bun. There is no second. I have a brand of cheese I like that I love, that is the best to me. The buns that is the best to me. Everything. I really tested this for years of research and development. Before jumping off into this. To your point about building a foundation for a business. The tallest skyscrapers have the deepest basements. And the deepest foundation. You can't build the Sears Tower, or what is it called now?
Willis Tower.
You can't build the Willis Tower with just one basement.
That's good.
It'll flop over. And so your business is the same way. You need a deep, strong foundation.
The tallest buildings have the deepest basements. That's good, bro.
Yes, sir.
All right, man. So let's kind of land this plane a little bit. I want to talk about, what do you see the business going, right? What's your goal? I know you're a community-based brother. I know you're looking to impact the community and the youth. So let's talk about your plans with that, and tell them where they can find you. If you're in Chicago, if you're visiting, you want to touch down with them, just know you need to order. 48 hours. Don't pull up right. Thinking you're gonna just shoot you an order, right? We got to do this in order. But go ahead and tell us what the plans are. Where you see the business going, some things that you're planning on doing to impact the community, and how they can contact you.
Sure. So, again, this is a thing that really touches home for me. I'm 50 years old, and all of my counterparts are reaching that age, man. My barber had a stroke last summer, right? He a few years younger than me. And I've been talking to friends and people I used to work with in the music industry and things of that nature. And some people are dealing with high blood pressure. Some people are dealing with high sugar. Some people are dealing with high cholesterol. And I noticed a trend that everybody's like taking pills to resolve this problem. So I'm here to promote Meatless Mondays.
Let's go.
Right? On, baby steps, right? So you don't have to shut it all down overnight, but just one day a week. Is 1 day a week of less cholesterol, one day a week of things with less salt, 1 day a week of things that are less problematic for you. And so, again, I never as a child sat around dreamed of being a chef or even necessarily a restaurateur. But sometimes you see an opportunity and it's too strong and it's too great and has the potential to be too lucrative and also the potential to impact too many people. To pass on. And because I was paying attention to the plant-based space, not only as a consumer, but from the stock market, from annual sales, watching it in the grocery stores, watching the popularity rise and fall. And I noticed that I was able to predict a lot of things that were going to happen. And so that made me feel really confident about my ability to turn this into something else. And so the goal, again, is to show that the plant-based meat can stand alone and not only compete with other plant-based brands, but also compete with meat-serving brands. And so the goal is to either partner directly with Beyond Meat and to give them a formula that allows them to vertically integrate. They've been able to raise hundreds of millions of dollars, so they look like a perfect partner, right? Absolutely. They have the product, so that lowers the price point and the cost of goods sold.
What did you say the evaluation was?
So right now they're doing $325 million a year, but that's down from the height of $450 $60 million.
Within what time span?
From 2021 to right now.
Okay.
And the stock is down from $267 a share to $4.40 a share. But it doesn't have to stay that way.
Yeah.
So beyond me, I'm already in talks, but if you're watching this, that I have a solution to your challenges.
Let's go.
I really do have a solution to your challenges. So what I see is a national chain. I have not only the product and the process for preparing the product, but I also have an incredible campaign strategy that's been proven that would fit them perfectly and help them launch a national chain of restaurants that would be super successful for both of us and mutually beneficial for both of us. So that's why I see things going. I see people eating a little less meat, but still enjoying the food, lowering their cholesterol, lowering the risk of cancer, lowering their blood sugar, and all of those things. And so it's a win-win all the way around the board.
Dope, man. Dope. Very good, man. So there you have it, right? That's everything in a nutshell. My man, the Yatu serial entrepreneur, restaurateur, owner of Beyond
Gourmet,
right? So if you guys want to tap in with him, how can they reach out to you, bro?
Again, BeyondGourmetChicago.com is the website. If you're on Instagram, we're Beyond Gourmet Chicago. On Facebook, we are Beyond Gourmet. If you go on to Google right now, you type in Beyond Gourmet, I'm likely to be the first thing to pop up. And don't be afraid to order that food in advance. You can pick the exact day and time that you want that food to be ready and or delivered for you. And I think
where they picking it up from?
6300 South Woodlawn. So our location is inside the lofts above a coffee house called Robust Coffee, right there on the corner. And so people are used to pulling up there and grabbing coffee and grabbing food. And so now people have gotten used to pulling up and grabbing that plant-based barbecue. We are the first and only plant-based barbecue smokehouse in the world. So I'm just not just throwing this on the grill with charcoal, right? That I have a proprietary process for slow smoking this plant-based meat on a smoker.
Yeah.
The outcome is incredible. So I definitely got to take care of you, Vaughn. Take care of you and the fam while y'all in town.
Yes, sir.
My motto is, man, we can't wait to feed you. And that's the honest to God truth.
Let's go, man. All right, so y'all hear it, man. Definitely tap in with my brother. If you want to watch this full episode, you can go to my YouTube page. My YouTube channel is my name, Vonzel Simmons. You can just click on videos under the BTS podcast and follow us on Instagram and My Box Truck Solutions. All right, man. Thank you guys. See you on the next episode. Peace.